So I've been very busy playing and watching all kinds of things, and I've got some old school style reviews on the run for you right now. All right, my friends, let's get some quick hit reviews. We are going to start with Death Stranding 2, which I was playing a little bit before my holiday, a little bit before the Nintendo Switch 2 launched, and then I had to kind of put it aside to handle Nintendo Switch 2, and then we were away for a little while, and I didn't have access to my PlayStation 5, and I got back, and I've actually been playing on the PS5 Pro, which makes this game run absolutely beautifully. It is a gorgeous experience. Hideo Kojima and his team really wanted to build something beautiful and also lush with all kinds of awesome interactive music that pops up. The storytelling gets a little bit convoluted for sure. The cut sequences go on a little long, like we know with a lot of Hideo Kojima games out there. But the thing that I love about this game is its commitment. Like every gadget, every interface, every UI element, all the characters that you meet, everything is just grounded in its own wacky reality, and you get lost in this world building. And yes, it does build and iterate on all of the storytelling that was in Death Stranding 1, and I do recommend that you play that first before you play Death Stranding 2. This is a bit out of nowhere and convoluted if you come at this one first. But I think that this speeds us into gameplay systems a lot quicker than Death Stranding 1 does. And it's very captivating, it's entrancing, I can't stop thinking about it. Death Stranding 2 is easily one of the most beautiful and special games of 2025, and you should definitely check it out if you've got a PlayStation 5. If you've got a Pro, this is one of those killer app experiences. Now, I still haven't finished Death Stranding 2, I've got more to play, but I can tell you I love it, but more importantly, I admire it. I think we need games like this in the video game industry big time. I'm gonna give Death Stranding 2 a 9.5 out of 10. Now let's switch over to something totally different. This is Happy Gilmore 2. It's on Netflix. It's the sequel to the 90s comedy that really put Adam Sandler on the map in a big way. It was filmed here in Vancouver, Canada, as a matter of fact. That movie was insane, and this movie carries on that tradition. But I can tell you, my family and I watched this together. We didn't laugh all that much. The jokes are very forced in this movie. But again, you have to admire the commitment to just be silly and just throw a whole bunch of ideas at the wall, throw all kinds of cameos, all kinds of super famous people and friends of Adam Sandler, presumably, pop up in this. There are a few touching elements. Adam Sandler's pretty good at sprinkling in some of the nostalgic elements that people are looking for, but also some commentary on family and responsibilities and interpersonal relationships. And there's a lot of homages to people that have passed on in this movie as well, because it's been 30 years. And so there is some reward in watching this if you are a huge fan of Happy Gilmore 1, but boy, it's silly, and boy, do a whole bunch of these jokes just not land at all. But I still smiled, I still smirked. I think if you love Happy Gilmore 1, you kind of have to watch this movie, but I don't think this is gonna hit like Happy Gilmore 1 did in any sense of the imagination. I'm gonna give Happy Gilmore 2 a 6 out of 10. Now, I've been streaming a whole bunch of stuff this week, and one of the games that I did stream was Mario Party Jamboree plus Jamboree TV for the Nintendo Switch 2. This is the enhanced edition for the new console. The bulk of the experience is what we saw on Nintendo Switch 1, which I adore. They knocked it out of the park with the core experience. There's some great boards in there. There's some motion control mini games and stuff. And what they've done with Jamboree TV, as the name implies, is they take advantage of the new Nintendo Switch 2 camera, and they actually capture your facial interactions, and you can have people beside you on the couch, and you can play all of these mini games and see yourself on screen, and it really does work. It's actually quite delightful. I was playing the coaster games, which are great. It's just a bunch of super fast little mini games that you activate as you're whipping around on these various coaster boards. They don't go on for long enough, but that's kind of the roller coaster experience. But I like the imagination, I like that kind of theme park sensibility, and of course they add in a few more mini game experiences in there as well, and you can play the game in a bunch of different ways, which I think is really a highlight to the whole experience. It's also crazy fun if you play it alone, and it really escalates if you play with other people that you know, but then you can also jump online and play with randos if you want to do that as well. I think the DLC is worth the price of admission. You may be able to find Mario Party Jamboree on sale somewhere for the Switch 1 and then do the upgrade that way. But I think this game is actually pretty damn sweet. I'm going to give the whole collection for Nintendo Switch 2 a 9 out of 10. Something else that I've watched that you're going to be able to watch today, it's premiering on Disney Plus's Eyes of Wakanda, which is executive produced by Ryan Coogler, and it is part of the MCU space. It's part of the Marvel animation team, and they're premiering all 4 episodes at once, which is kind of like an anthology in a way, because each of the episodes takes place in a different time period. You are following these Wakandan agents who are trying to get back these vibranium artifacts from these different elements in ancient Greece and ancient China. It's a pretty cool idea. It's a little Forrest Gump-like. You're going to see famous characters from history kind of drop into the storytelling, and you're also going to see homages to other Marvel elements, and of course lots of lore is dropped that ties into the Black Panther universe, which is pretty cool. I thought the first 3 episodes were all right. They kind of held my attention, but they weren't amazing. I think part of it is you're just not following a through line all the way. They're just like these little vignettes. You're not following the same character. The 4th episode in this show, though, is remarkable. It's a great premise. It's absolutely worth watching. I think the show itself is worth watching, especially if you're a fan of Black Panther like I am. I don't profess to be an expert on Wakandan lore. I haven't read all the Black Panther comics or anything like that. I've seen the movies and I've read some Black Panther stuff. But certainly that universe is enthralling, and Ryan Coogler and his production team and the animation teams on the show have done a good job kind of embellishing and creating that. I do think that they could have done something a little bit more in the direction of the Spider-Verse films with its animation style. I was thinking of the Predator Killer of Killers look, which definitely kind of pulled from that aesthetic, and I felt like this was a little bit Disneyfied. It felt a little like a more action-oriented Disney show than like a rough and tumble Marvel show ripped from comic pages. Still, there's some fun elements in here, and that 4th episode is worth sticking around for. Some great stuff there. And if you're a fan of the Black Panther world, I think you're going to dig this quite a bit. I'm going to give Eyes of Wakanda a 7 out of 10. Now, something cool that happened this week is I got a great surprise care package from IM 8-Bit. They sent me 4 different Nintendo Switch 1 games, which I streamed on the Nintendo Switch 2, talking about Bear and Breakfast. I'm talking about the Artful Escape, but the 2 that I really enjoyed were Toem, the camera experience where you're playing a little black and white character running around an environment, taking photographs of different things and trying to complete objectives and solve puzzles and continue on your adventure. I thought that was absolutely adorable and so unique, and I'm very excited that Toem 2 is on the way. But Toem 1, the Switch 1 game running on Switch 2, it looked incredible and it really was captivating. I wanted to keep playing it, but I had all of these games to check out. And the other game that I started the stream with that I really want to get back to is Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. And this gets some pretty noticeable upgrades on Switch 2. The frame rate is much smoother, and it's such a great homage to Jet Grind Radio or Jet Set Radio Future. You're racing around on inline skates and skateboards. You'll be challenging foes on BMX bikes. You got to pull off some stunts, some tricks. You're spray painting and tagging cool graffiti all over the place. You're being chased by cops and great music. I got copyright flagged, by the way, on that stream from one of the tracks in that game, but it's great music and it's such a cool aesthetic, and it makes you excited to play this. This is a great experience, but it also really makes you excited for what Sega's got in store for the future of Jet Grind Radio. Get on that, will you, Sega? Now, I'm not going to score these 4 games. I've got more to play on all of them, but I thought the coolest thing about this is that all 4 games came on the card. They came on Nintendo Switch 1 cartridges. They're all physical. I applaud what companies like IM 8-Bit are doing out there, trying to work with all of these indie publishers and indie developers and bringing these great games, these super cool experiences that are totally worth your time and your money to physical media so you can collect it and then go back to it. You can share it with other friends that you might have. And each of these games, by the way, came with cool little knickknacks inside of the boxes. You got keychains or stickers. Bomb Rush Cyberfunk came with a little booklet that has all the graffiti that's in the game. Really cool stuff. Thank you for the care package, IM 8-Bit, and check out these 4 cool games, but 2 that I definitely recommend are Toem and Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. Now, something else that I watched, I actually checked this out with my daughter while we were on vacation, is Jurassic World Rebirth. You know, I'm down to watch these dinosaurs on the screens. I've been disappointed with a lot of these Jurassic movies. Gareth Edwards directs Jurassic World Rebirth, and you know what? We had a pretty damn good time. My daughter especially, she adored this movie. She was really entertained. And the cool thing is that I think Gareth Edwards understood that he didn't really have to set up a lot here. And in fact, what's going on in the plot of Jurassic World Rebirth is that dinosaurs have been struggling with climate change, and they're just falling apart and dying as they've integrated into other parts of the world. And the only place that they actually can thrive is in this sort of equatorial belt where they can exist with the hotter climate that the world has got. And what is going on is that Scarlett Johansson plays this mercenary type. She gets recruited along with the scientists to go into this dinosaur-infected area to steal DNA to help with some medical technology that could make this company incredibly wealthy. And so they go on this mission, they get integrated with this family who gets trapped in the wrong place at the wrong time, and of course they have all kinds of dinosaur encounters. But honestly, I thought that the movie moved away from a lot of the more cartoonish and ridiculous stuff that the Jurassic World franchise has done in the last several films, like really turning Chris Pratt into some weird Indiana Jones superhero, you know, that's communicating with the dinosaurs. There was some just really silly, over-the-top stuff, and there definitely is in this movie. I'm not going to completely excuse that at all, but I thought that the action sequences were a little bit more grounded. There's this family that gets caught up. You're actually legitimately concerned that everybody's going to make it out okay. And it was a nice sort of juxtaposition from the soldier tale and the more scientific kind of action stuff that we were doing. We just got some regular people in the midst of all of this carnage. And some of the dinosaur attacks were actually kind of freaky and kind of cool. There's a really cool sequence in a river where this T-Rex, like I think it's a T-Rex, is just coming after the family, and it's genuinely freaky and terrifying like the old days. It is amazing to me, though, that nothing still can touch what Steven Spielberg did with Jurassic Park 1. That was such a revolution in cinema. It was so crazy. I still get chills thinking about being in the theater, and somehow I saw that in an early screening, and I had no idea what to expect. Jurassic Park 1, man, just untouchable. But Gareth Edwards does a commendable job. He did a great indie film about giant monsters called Monsters, which you should check out as well. The guy knows how to paint a picture with these stories. He did a pretty decent job with Godzilla. He did an incredible job with Rogue One. I thought the creator was pretty damn cool. And you know what? Jurassic World Rebirth is pretty satisfying if you're a fan of the Jurassic Park lore. And I think it's up there. I think it's near the top of this now heap. The one thing that I will say, too, about this movie is my daughter and I could not remember what it was called when we left the theater because there's been too many of them. But this one's pretty fun. I'm going to give Jurassic World Rebirth a 7.5 out of 10. And finally, the game that I really want to talk about is Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. I streamed this just yesterday and played for hours and hours. So I played it a little bit the night that I got it a couple nights ago. I streamed it, and then I played it some more last night. I was obsessed with it. This is such a beautiful work of art. Oh my God, it's so fun. The controls are perfect. It's made by the team that made Blasphemous, which is an excellent 2D Metroidvania series as well. So check that out. But you're going to probably be a little bit more excited about this because .emu and Koei Tecmo, like everybody got behind this, and there's real money. The music is incredible. The art direction is so freaking cool. This is some of the best sprite work I have ever seen, and the controls are just perfect, like perfect precision and so rewarding. And it's really a game about completion. Like you're just going to go back to the checkpoint. You're going to try it again. You're going to try it again. You're going to hit those boss fight choke points for sure. And I actually did have to, full disclosure, I had to kind of set the damage down a little bit to get past a boss last night because I just wanted to see what was coming up next. But you play as two different characters with different abilities, sometimes switching between them on the fly to handle some of the puzzles and stuff. And you're obviously outfitting your characters with better weaponry and better abilities. There's lots of ways to kind of mod the game. There's lots of accessibility options, not just toggling the amount of damage you take when you get hit. But man, this game is so crazy good. It's so freaking fantastically fun, and I really hope it's a huge hit. I think these 2D experiences, and I think it really started with Streets of Rage 4 that Emu brought out there, and then we got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, and there's just been this nice collection of just exquisite 2D brawlers and Metroidvanias. Lots of incredible stuff, and 2D is so vital and so fun, and this game is one of the best things I've played in 2025. It's going to end up right now, the way I'm feeling, it's going to end up in our Game of the Year conversation for sure. I'm giving Ninja Gaiden Ragebound a freaking 10 out of 10. Check this game out. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for my quickfire reviews on the run. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for supporting the Electric Playground. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you dig the content, and make sure you're also checking out our classic episodes every Saturday morning. A new episode premieres at 9 a.m. Pacific right here on the channel. Thanks for being here. We will see you soon, and until then, play forever.